What is going on, Supers? Welcome back to another episode of Swoop Luke. In this episode, we'll be previewing the Gold Coast Collingwood game. Let's get into it. Of course, before we do jump straight into it, be sure to check out all of my merch that I've got out. Links are down below. They're popping up on the screen now. I'm sending out some stuff this week, so get in and we will send them out to you this week. But thank you so much for all the support. Let's get into this preview. So on Saturday night, Collingwood will take on the Gold Coast up in the Metricon Stadium. By all accounts, it's going to be a very wet Gold Coast venue. It's going to be pouring apparently. So we know what happened in the wet against Fremantle. We absolutely smashed them. So let's hope we bring some of that magic and bring some of that Melbourne rain to the Gold Coast. Because look, since we played them last in round 7, the Suns have been not flying high, but they have been doing pretty well. In their last 5 games, they've won 3 of those games, and in those last 5 games, 3 of those games, the ones that they won, they had scored over 100 points in all of them. Albeit, you know, their 2 losses come against Port Adelaide and Western Bulldogs, kind of sitting around their place in the ladder. Those 3 big wins did come against North Melbourne, Hawthorn and Adelaide. Not to discredit their good wins, because that's a good win. The Hawthorn game was 121-54, and that was nearly a month ago. And, you know, since then, we've also won 5 of our last 5 games. So this is going to be a good test for both sides, and it is going to be a really good contest. So last time we played them was round 7. This was right after Anzac Day, so Brodie Grundy had just gone down with his knee. Jack Ginnivan is coming off his 5-goal performance on Anzac Day and the Anzac Day medalist as well. So at this point in round 7, Darcy Cameron was in and Aiden Begg came in. I'm pretty sure that's when he made his debut. Yeah, that was his debut game against Gold Coast. So we didn't have Mason Cox. He wasn't playing well. Darcy Cameron was just taking on Sol Ruckman, and of course Aiden Begg in his first game tried his best, but you're not going to keep up with Jared Witts, who is, you know, just propelling, the ex-Magpie, just propelling the Gold Coast Suns forward as their captain. Smashing hit outs. He had 41 or something last week, 20 disposals, so he is probably their most important player, just the way he goes about it. That's why Gold Coast Suns are ranked, I think, 2nd or 3rd in hit-outs per game, 3rd in clearances per game. So they generate a lot of their movement from that centre, and that is going to be one of the most crucial battles of this game if we are to win this. Darcy Cameron and Mason Cox they've been doing so well since that round 7 game, and now they're working in tandem. They're working really well in tandem, but coming up against Jared Witts isn't no mean feat. In saying that though, they did come up against Gawn and Jackson, and we absolutely poleaxed Melbourne when we versed them on Queen's birthday. So it gives me hope that we can do the same to Jared Witts, and that's our Suns midfield. What is surprising about the Gold Coast team though is that they're ranked 18th for handballs, 17th for disposals, 18th for marks in the game, and 15th for rebounds. So on paper, it just doesn't look like, you know, they don't play around with the ball too much. And I say that like, look, I don't watch a lot of Gold Coast Suns games, admittedly. I watched a little bit of that Port Adelaide game last week. I watched a bit of that last quarter. They're very direct. So get it from the centre clearance into the forward line, and they let their forwards do the job. They don't really fluff around with the ball too much. That's why they're 18th in marks. That's why they're 18th in handball, 17th in disposal. That's really low rankings compared to us, where we like to excite. We like to get those handballs. We're looking for that quick kick into the middle, into that corridor, and we're ready to go. So it's going to be, no pun intended, it's going to be a test of wits, which tactic is going to work best for them, because we know that Hawthorn did it well, Carlton did it well, and to a point the Giants did it well last week, where they were trying to almost suffocate our game plan, suffocate that run. And it works in parts. Then we can find a way around it. We do take those riskier kicks into the middle. They work out. We get that corridor direct. Cox, Elliott, whoever else is in that forward line. And that does help us. So 2 very different game plans, Stewie Doo and Craig McRae. Who's going to come out on top is going to be the biggest question going into Saturday night's game. There are a lot of X factors in this Gold Coast team, and it's hard to look past Rankin, who scored 3 goals against Port last week. Jared Witts, like I mentioned. Tuke Miller, of course. You've got Anderson. I really like Marbia, Chol, and what Markov are doing as well. So Chol, they pinch it in the ruck a little bit. You've got Wits and Chol. Markov, not too much. He didn't ruck at all against Port Adelaide last week. What he did do, Markov though, 700 meters gained, the most of anyone on that ground. So the boy can run. So we're gonna have our work cut out for him with their tools and with their small spread. It's just, I don't know, it's one of those games where it's hard to get a read on. With the Giants game, my read was it was going to be a tough game. And at points, it wasn't. We kind of had their number. Then in the last quarter, those classic Giants come out. They kick 3 on the trot, blah, 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 blah. We know how it goes. You kind of feel these games. But this one, for me personally, I don't know about you guys, it's very hard to read because this Gold Coast side can perform really well. 120 points to 54 or whatever it was against Hawthorn. Played very admirably against Port Adelaide after being down by 3 or 4 goals in that first quarter and then being down by 2.5 goals in that last quarter to only lose by 2. But we know our boys can, just the way we are playing, it's just exceptional. It's exceptional footy. And we're one of the most exciting teams in the comp. No bias as well. We are just one of the most exciting teams in the competition to watch. And 5 wins in a row isn't anything to scoff at. We're beating top 8 sides as well, which is something that Gold Coast haven't been able to do recently. Ins and outs though, Alex Davies did something to his knee. Not sure how bad that is for the Gold Coast, but he was replaced as the sub. On the injuries list, it also says that Rankin did his shoulder, but I'm sure he'll get up and play against us because all the good players play against us. That's just how the cookie crumbles. With us, no injuries, which is one. That's really good, obviously. Jordan De Goey, what happened with him? He was at training today, and I am recording this on, what is today? Tuesday. I'm recording this on a Tuesday, so he was at training today. Good signs. Does he play? Does he not play? I think that he plays. Rusko will probably come out of the team. Who do they put as a sub? I'm not too sure, but Jordan De Goey needs to be in this team because not only does he provide that grunt, not only does he provide that another midfield legs, another big body, another clearance, chuck him up forward. He'll kick 2 or 3 goals if he can. I know he hasn't had his kicking boots on. They're playing him more as a midfielder, but we're able to, if we need to, kind of like what Dane Swan used to do. You know, Swanee is the perfect example of a workhorse, and if he needs to, goes up forward, sits in the goal square, kicks a couple of goals. This is going to be, I don't know, every game I'm going to say it probably. It's, you know, we need to win to kind of make finals, but we need to beat these teams that kind of are nipping at our ankles. We need to show the competition that we're here and we're meant to be here. And look, like I keep saying, it doesn't mean that we're going to win our next, what round are we in, 16? Doesn't mean we're going to win our next 6 or 7 games or whatever it may be. I know we're going to drop a couple or a few even. But these are the teams that we have to beat. You know, if we're dropping games against Sydney, Melbourne when we verse them again, even freaking, as much as I hate to admit it, even Carlton down in the last game, you can kind of forgive those because they're obviously higher on the ladder than you for a reason. So you go, okay, they're a better team, blah, 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 blah. You know, but teams like Gold Coast, St Kilda, Richmond, Bulldogs, those teams that are kind of under us, you have to bury them in a sense to show that don't worry about these guys. We've got these guys covered. It's these guys on top of us that we need to worry about. So I'm hoping that we can breeze past Gold Coast Suns at a wet, rainy Metricon Stadium. I've got a feeling that we're going to put our 11-22 goal-kicking yips away and end up winning by 30-odd points. Who have I got starring? I think Jordan De Goey comes back and just has a huge game. And he just quashes all the bad press that he's had in the last couple of weeks. But anyway, guys, this has been my preview of the Collingwood Gold Coast game. I know I dribbled on a little bit. Hopefully it's very coherent for you. But leave your thoughts down below. And until then, like, comment, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets. And until next time, double shackers. I'll swoop you later.